A young man named Lee Yong lives with his parents because he can't get a job. When he was in school, he was a star student and a key member of the climbing club. Now, his main hobby is just working out on pull-up bars, which makes the people who live near him think he's strange. Even so, he hasn't forgot his climbing days and keeps all his climbing gear at home, which his sister often complains about. For his mother's birthday, they decide to celebrate at a place called the Cloud Garden that is close to their home. Lee Yong picked this place not because it was pretty, but because his high school crush, Ju, works there. When they meet, they go off to the side to talk, which surprises Ju because she thought Lee Yong had been avoiding her ever since she said no to his asking her out on a date. However, Lee Yong quickly cleared things up, telling her that he was just there by chance and didn't even know she worked at the restaurant. He also mentioned that he now has a manager's job at an important company, showing her how much his life and career have changed. Evening went on, and as it got late, the manager of the place told the rest of the staff to go home, leaving only him and Ju. But as soon as the others were gone, he started paying too much attention to her, which made her feel very uncomfortable. Ju politely let him know that she wasn't interested in anything more than a work relationship. Meanwhile, outside, a car was parked in a bad spot, and the driver broke the key in the lock as he got out. He accidentally opened some valves, and a strange smoke started to come out of the car. This smoke had an instant effect on anyone who was in its cloud. In just a few minutes, the gas started to fill up most of the street, and the noise from the incident reached the restaurant where the party was happening. Suddenly, a gas canister hit the wall, and all the guests started to run out of the building. They saw a cloud of gas moving toward them. Ju told everyone to go back inside the building, but Lee Yong tried to find his sister, who was still in her car. As she tried to get out, she fell and breathed in some of the gas. Lee Yong immediately ran to her and took her back into the building, where her condition quickly got worse. While Lee Yong watched the whole city get covered in the deadly gas, his father didn't understand how serious it was and insisted they needed to leave. Suddenly, an emergency message from the government came on, telling everyone to climb as high as they could and wait for the military to come and help. In a panic, everyone ran to the roof of the building, but they found the doors locked, and the manager didn't have the keys. Because of this, many people went to the lower floors to look for them. At the same time, the news on television said that anyone who had to go into the gas had to wear a gas mask, which would only work for about 15 minutes. It also said that all parts of the body had to be covered to keep the gas from touching their skin. The news also added that there were so few helicopters that rescue was only possible for those who were easy to see first. The only way to be saved was to become as noticeable as possible, but there was a problem. One of the managers had taken all the gas masks from the boxes. However, as soon as he heard that people were planning to look for the keys downstairs, he immediately changed his mind. The manager turned around, brought some of the gas masks back, and decided not to go down into the gas. At that moment, Lee Yong realized that the door could only be opened from the outside and that the only way to get out was to break a window. After that, he asked for a rope, wrapped it around his waist, and took a running leap, jumping to the roof across the street. When he landed, he immediately started looking for places to attach the rope. He soon realized that he couldn't go any further because the rope had run out and wouldn't let him keep going. As a result, he decided to take off the safety harness and climb on his own. At that moment, he remembered his school days when he had to overcome problems with a burst of effort. He grabbed onto a statue and one of the statue's tusks broke off, but he managed to hold on and climb onto the roof. Afterward, he was able to open the door, allowing everyone to get onto the roof. By this time, a helicopter started flying over them, but unfortunately, the pilot didn't see them. Then they got the idea to turn on their flashlights and signal SOS to get the helicopter's attention. They started waving their flashlights with a lot of energy, making bright light signals. Meanwhile, the news reported that the incident was connected to a person from a local lab. It turned out that this person had decided to get revenge for being fired, and their actions had led to the current dangerous situation. The helicopter still didn't notice them despite all their efforts. Then they came up with a new idea, to start shouting into a microphone while at the same time turning the restaurant signs on and off to create an extra visual signal. Thanks to these synchronized actions, the helicopter finally noticed them. However, a new problem came up. The helicopter couldn't take everyone on board because of weight limits. As a result, Lee Yong decided to stay with Ju to avoid making the helicopter too heavy. Soon, a new helicopter arrived, but for some unknown reason, the pilot decided not to pick them up. In a state of hopelessness, Lee Yong and Ju started to come up with a new plan. While Lee Yong was getting the things they needed, he noticed that the gas was starting to rise. They quickly put on gas masks, carefully taped up their whole bodies, and ran outside, making their way through the city. They managed to reach a new roof, but they soon realized that the gas had already reached this place too. Seeing that the situation was becoming dangerous, Lee Yong decided to use the last filter he had. He quickly put it on and went down. Meanwhile, Ju climbed to the top of the building, trying to avoid the danger. After a few moments, he also climbed up to the roof after her, fighting his tiredness and fear, and gave her a new filter. They struggled to reach the gym where they could finally be without masks. This place gave them a chance to rest and think about their next steps. They needed to get to the roof of the next building. After talking about different ways to do it, they managed to throw dumbbells onto the roof across from them. Slowly, by pulling the rope tight, they created a temporary bridge. When the rope became tight enough, Ju carefully went across. Everything went according to plan until it was Lee Yong's turn when the situation suddenly changed. Gas started spilling onto the roof where Ju was, creating a serious threat. Seeing this, Lee Yong decided not to take any chances and quickly went back to get the gas masks. The authorities realized that ordinary water could stop the gas, although they weren't sure how long it would take. Lee Yong came up with a clever plan to set up mannequins so that the rescuers would think there were a lot of people in the building, hopping to get their attention. Suddenly, they noticed that a whole crowd of people couldn't leave a room. These people were trapped and didn't know how to get out. Lee Yong and Ju tried to explain to them that there was a fire escape nearby and that they just needed to climb up to be saved. One of them decided to follow their advice and started climbing the ladder, but he lost his balance and almost fell, causing the others to panic. Soon, a helicopter spotted them, but they realized that the first thing to do was to save the people who were trapped. They quickly set up an arrow to point the rescuers in the right direction. Suddenly, there was an explosion, sending a powerful wave of gas toward them. In a panic, they decided that the closest building was the safest place. Without wasting any time, they started moving to the building next to them. At that moment, a drone from a television company paid for by Lee Yong's father suddenly flew toward them. Thanks to the drone, their rescue operation started to be shown live on the internet. Thousands of people around the world saw this dramatic scene, and many viewers started following what was happening, hoping for a successful rescue. They managed to reach the right building and climbed up the tall advertising billboards to the top. However, the problem was that the next building was too far away to just jump to it. At this point, the drone that was showing their rescue stopped working and the live feed was cut. Our heroes hugged each other, finding comfort and support. Suddenly, new drones began to appear from all directions. People were using them to move the gas away, making a safe space around our heroes. Lee Yong quickly thought of a plan and passed it to one of the drones. According to this plan, the drone was supposed to carry a rope to the next building. Soon the drone, following Lee Yong's instructions, successfully completed the task and the rope was securely attached on the other side. They began to carefully make their way to the other roof using the tight rope, but they suddenly stopped right in the middle. The reason was the extra weight, which put a dangerous strain on the rope. However, this wasn't the only problem. The rope started to slip. They came up with the idea to cut the rope and drop to the floor below, but the drone that was helping them suddenly broke down. They started falling straight down. This was the last moment caught on the broadcast. Despite this, the helicopter still went to their last known location. Suddenly, the rescuers noticed a strange light on the crane. It turned out to be sparklers that our heroes had lit to get attention. Thanks to these lights, the rescuers were able to spot them and rush to help. At the camp, everyone was happy about the rescue. The manager, feeling relieved, decided to go up to Ju to show her how worried he had been about her. But instead of gratitude, she slapped him. Then Lee Yong came up to Ju, holding a carabiner they used during the rescue. He wanted to give it to her, but she told him to bring it to their next meeting. Suddenly, it started to rain, washing away all the remaining gas. This natural event became a symbol of things getting better and the end of all their problems. So what did you think of this movie? Leave it in the comments below, and if you like the video, like and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you next time.